Hi and welcome to Monday Live. It seems a long time ago, the last one, but we've had a great holiday. We did. The weather was surprisingly good. I think we've all found that over the last week or so, haven't we? Quite amazing. And yeah, so we had a lovely week in Dorset. Came back and then had the Saturday and Sunday at home. Alfie's actually off today. They have what's it called, an insect day, just to make it easy for the parents to manage their childcare. But there you go. So that's great. So it's good to be back. I'm finishing off talking about Greedober today, but of course on the site we're moving on to sacrificing. Which sort of goes with the day, Halloween, but also obviously goes with Guy Fawkes and everything. So that'll be good. So sacrificing we're talking about for the next month. So that's the new big seminar, which has gone up on the site. But we're finishing our chat about defence at pairs today. And to be honest, what I'll be looking at is a couple of examples that have been sent in by you, which is what I like to finish off the sort of month with. So that will be nice. A couple of housekeeping things. Tuesday Teams. So the Teams is on Tuesday. So that's tomorrow night because I'm off to the Old Barn. So I'll be playing live on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. If you want to watch it live, don't forget, of course, you can always watch it at your leisure. That's for the members. And the Friday is pre-recorded. So the Friday topic at the moment is third-hand bidding. Third-hand bidding, which as we've already seen is quite interesting. Comes up quite a lot on the Teams nights as well. So third-hand bidding, we're on the second part of that. So that's on Friday, and then I guess you could say we're getting ready for Christmas. We've got plenty of holidays in November, I will add. Plenty of holidays in November, so there's no need to get ready for Christmas yet. But don't forget, you've got those Christmas opportunities, both at Denham and then the New Year, both at Denham and the Old Barn. So do look on the website. With regard to the November events, there you can see we've got quite a few. The Elstead, the Old Barn and Denham. There's also one at Two Bridges for the members there. And there's one at the end of the week. No, the end of the month in Cornwall. Our 5-day Cornwall getting ready for Christmas spectacular in the Lanhydrock. So plenty of things to think about if you fancy a break. And obviously you can head off abroad as well. We've got Mallorca. They've just come back from there, had a lovely time. So we're back in Mallorca, of course, though, in April and May. Tunisia, all sorts, and cruises as well. And I think it's time to get excited about these, as if I'm not anyway. My family, I mean, I think we've got this here. My family are coming with me on this one. So that's the Norwegian fjords in August. And of course, as it's in August, I can take Alfie and Helen with me. Well, I can take Helen anytime, but we feel that we should probably care for Alfie as well. So that will be fun. I think it goes from the north. I think it's from Edinburgh or Scythe, but it's worth having a think about that one because the fjords is a lovely cruise to give yourself a starter if you've not done them before, or just enjoy yourself. I'm sure Alfie will enjoy it. So what are we doing today? I'm going to show you the hand evaluation that we had from some time ago, as on Friday. And then we are going to look at the examples, and then we are going to look at the answers, and then we'll have a bidding quiz to finish, and then I'll do some beginners, if that's okay. So that's going to be the usual theme. So let's go first and foremost to that hand evaluation, not the hand evaluation, points, isn't it? Trying to define the number of points. So here it is. Let's just to go through the bidding. Your partner opens a club. It goes 1-0 trump over call from south. You chose to pass that. I think that's reasonable. Remember, a double of 1 no trump here is not for takeout. A double would be for penalties, so you're certainly too weak for that. It would be lovely to say, partner, I love spades, hearts and diamonds, but let's be honest, you're just going to pass. And in fact, I think that's going to finish the auction. So you are on lead against 1 no trump, and you choose the 10 of hearts. You wouldn't have to choose the 10 of hearts, of course. You could choose the 2 of clubs, and that is what you see in dummy. And what you're going to try and do is assess what's in partner's hand and what might be in South's hand, and how that might affect the layout. So don't forget, you've had the auction 1 club from East, 1 no trump overcall, and that has finished the auction. So we're in 1 no trump by South. You've led the 10 of hearts, and you've got to give me a range of points if you can, and I can then tell you what happens at trick 1, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, the Queen of Hearts wins the first trick. Okay, so that's for you to think about. See if you can give me a range of points. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at these example hands that got sent in to me. So let's just dig that out for me, if you bear with me. There we go. Get them ready. Okay, so let's go to the PowerPoint and let's see what we've got here. So greed over is what we've been talking about. We're finishing it today, as it were. So Declarer should have been aiming for as many tricks as possible. For him, greed is good. The irony is, for defenders, in a way, greed is not so good. You're not needing to grab tricks. You just try to avoid Declarer's greed. Okay, because over tricks are very valuable. As a defender, your aim is to not give those tricks to Declarer. In a way, you're being greedy because you want to make as many tricks as you can. But the way to be greedy as a defender is very much to sit back for the most part. Whereas a declarer does need to be much more active. So the key element here is you do not need to take a contract down to get a good score. And that's the thing to remember. So this example, first example, was sent in by Alan. So thanks, Alan. And then our second one was sent in by Angela. So we're going to look at this first one first, and then the second one second, which sort of makes sense, doesn't it? So you haven't got a great deal of wonders, and the auction goes 1 no trump, 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. 1 no trump, 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. And it is your turn to play. What do you think? What do you think? Any thoughts? Okay, so let's think about it. Let's go through it. First and foremost, without thinking beyond anything, the standard lead would be the 3 of diamonds. Okay, before, if you're playing teams, I think you'd probably lead a diamond here. Playing pairs, your job is to avoid giving tricks away. So you're looking for a passive lead. Now, for example, if I had the Jack of Spades as well in this hand, so if I had an honour in every suit, then I'd probably still lead a diamond. Now, a number of you saying Stayman, etc., that's true, but you've got length in diamonds, and if every single suit had an honour in, I would feel that, given that you've got to take a risk of leading away from an honour, I might as well lead my longer suit. Here, though, the danger of leading away from an honour, I don't want to take that gamble, so I think leading the 6 of spades, I think that is probably best. Okay, basically I'm trying to avoid giving a trick away. Generally what you're going to find here is that leading from a weak suit is slightly less damaging than leading from a suit with just one honour. It's a fine line though. I mean, sometimes leading those spades, because remember, partner's got to guess what's going on. Your partner may well win the spade and think, oh, I'll lead one of those back, and we could be barking up completely the wrong tree. Okay, but for me, this kind of auction is generally looking for a passive lead, and spades looks the most passive option, so that's what I would choose. Again, number of you choosing the 6, I don't mind the 6 or the 7. Playing in a suit contract, mud is really important because partners very much focus on doubletons and things like that. Playing in no trumps, it can be not an unreasonable thought that if you think there's going to be doubt in your partner's mind as to what your lead is, maybe leading the top one might help him. So very subtle, but I'm thinking that the 7 of spades is going to give my partner a better chance of identifying what my holding is than the 6. So that's crucial here, because I think the 6 in partner, well, let's have a look. There's dummy, a flat 12 count. There were a couple of 10s, so I don't mind a direct 3 no trumps. When I gave it to Q plus did bid 3 no trumps straight away, but with a 4-3-3-3 hand. I quite like 2 no trumps as well. I've switched you to the other side of the table. Okay, so the dummy is as you've just seen, and we're now in the east seat. So you've had the 7 of spades led, and it goes small, and you've got to think now. So the 7 of spades is led. Now the advantage of having led the 7 here is that the only holding West can possibly have if the 7 is 4th highest is King Jack 9-7. Okay, not only that, I suppose you could you could almost put the 2 in and hope the 7 wins, but you would feel that surely North, if partner had King Jack 9-7, would have played the 10, which gives you a genuine chance. So if South is sitting with 3 small spades here, surely North would have played the 10 there. Okay, so I'm thinking that the fact that North hasn't played the 10, I'm placing my partner with nothing in spades. Does that make sense? So imagine you're declaring you've got Queen 10-3 opposite 2 small or 3 small. Surely putting the 10 gives you a genuine chance, and it would work here, wouldn't it? If declare had put the 10 in, you'd have to play the ace. So for me, I would be placing my partner with nothing in spades. Whereas if you'd led the 6, I think it's a bit more subtle. Okay, because I'm thinking partner might, South could well have the Jack of spades or something like that. You know, so partner could have, there's 4 other cards above the 6. Okay, subtle. So for me, I'm thinking I can win the ace of spades here. Hopefully, you know, Declare is probably making 2 tricks or even 3 tricks. We know he's making 3 tricks because we know partner led from 3, but quite often here you'll be expecting partner to have led from length. So I'm thinking I can win the ace. Do I need to switch? So what do you think about switching here? Okay, so I'm going to play the ace, and we've got to think about switching or not. Now again, the key here is you're welcome to switch as long as it's not going to give anything away. So if I reckon the 7 of spades is a weak lead, and given Declarer's play I think it is, then I am likely to switch here. Now, so why would I switch? Well, for example, a heart switch here isn't going to give anything away. If Declarer has the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Hearts is, the Ace, King, Queen of Hearts are always going to make. It is, I suppose Declarer might have Queen 10-4, and you give them a free finesse. I mean, it's got to be exactly Queen 10-4. If it was Queen 10-5 for the, you know, a major, they would discover it. So that's true. But I think a club or heart switch look relatively safe, and they might be important, because if partner does have the Queen of Hearts, you know, you've got to try and get a balance between attacking and safety here. So we're looking for safety, but if you can attack reasonably safely, so 95% of the time I'm not going to give a trick away by playing this, then it's not unreasonable. Because remember, you know, when it goes 1N, 2N, 3N, they're not always going to make these contracts because they're on the borderline of the points. So I would feel a heart or club switch is fine here. I think a club switch looks okay as well, so it's quite tricky. On the hand, we do need to switch to hearts on this particular one, but you have got an entry with it. So if partner's got, let's say, 3 hearts to the Queen, you're going to develop a heart trick. You play a heart, maybe declare a play something else. Hopefully your partner gets the lead and can play a heart. But it's a fine line. But I would switch to either hearts or clubs. Okay, if you find the heart switch, that works the best. There's your full hand. Let me just, it might be easier to show it on Q+. Remember, you might need to adjust your sets here. So here's the full hand on Q+. Actually, at Alan's table, they led a heart, which I think is a pretty risky lead. But because they led a heart, they managed to keep the contract to 9 tricks. And keeping Declara to 9 tricks got you a great score on this hand. Declara needs the time to develop 2 diamond tricks to make 10 tricks. Now, he's likely to lose to the ace and queen of diamonds. I think it's tricky though. I mean, I think it's a choice between a heart and a club back. But I hope you notice the difference here. Playing in no trumps, leading that top spade there, the 7 of spades, I think makes East's life a little bit easier. I think if you, let me just quickly, I mean, if you lead the 6 of spades here and you choose the ace of spades and then lead a spade back, let's just see what will happen. Declare is probably going to win that and play diamonds. He will play a diamond to the jack because he wants to make as many tricks. But now I think Declara is definitely going to make an extra diamond, isn't he? Okay, so whatever you do now, let's say you play another spade, Declara is going to play a diamond and actually establishes 2 diamond tricks there. So that makes 10 tricks easily. Okay, if Declara's got the time to play on diamonds, he's going to make enough there. Okay, so I'm going to nip back there. So on passive leads, interestingly, Declara is going to make here. Clearly a diamond lead is going to help Declara. I mean, the diamond lead has established, I mean, just quickly show you that a diamond lead clearly is going to go to the ace. You'll lead a diamond back because you expect your partner to have 2 honours. So I would lead a diamond back here, hoping my partner had queen jack to 4. Okay. And then partner can establish 2 tricks. He can win the second diamond with his jack, play a small one to south, then bear king, and he will then make, you know, he'll have established the trick. So with 2 honours, it would have been an okay lead. Clearly a diamond back here. Declara may well finesse, but he's got 2 diamond tricks, and that's enough to comfortably make 10 tricks again. He loses 2 diamonds in the ace of spades. If we can switch early enough, oh gosh, I've gone too far. Oh well. If we can switch early enough, I'll show you what Q+ bid. Q+ bid 3 no trumps of that hand. Okay. If you switch early enough, so if you lead a heart or if you lead a spade to the ace and you find a heart switch, as I say, I think a club switch is okay as well. It's hard to know what's best, but if you do find a heart switch, clearly now Declara is likely to play on diamonds still, but I think the normal play is to play a diamond to the jack, which allows us to win and knock out the heart. Okay, and Declara can only make 9 tricks there. Okay, he's going to take his winners here. He's not going to let you take him down. He has got 6 more tricks there. But Although he might go down here, I think. Yeah, so he will go down on this particular layout because he's got to give up to the ace of diamonds. Maybe he'd have played off some spades earlier. But the key here is that keeping declare to 8 or 9 tricks is going to make a huge difference. Let me just get out of that. Okay. There's not much. Attacking is quite important sometimes, but it's just you've got to do it safely, because I think West is leading a diamond, a club or a heart from the West hand is relatively random. Okay, whereas from the East hand, when you're leading up to dummy, there's a lot safer leads, and this is what I've tried to talk about throughout, is that when dummy's on your right, you will find a lot of relatively safe leads. When dummy's on your left, leading from one on or when there's one in dummy is really tricky. Now, I used to give some examples where we'd switch dynamically. Most dynamic switches when dummy's on your left, i.e. when you were the opening leader, are in teams games or rubber bridge games where you can afford to take a risk. So when the lead works, you take the contract down. When it doesn't, you give an over trick away. But remember, if you're playing teams or rubber bridge or something like that, over tricks you don't mind about. And that's the crucial thing. So the person who's the opening leader for the most part is going to be relatively passive. So if you manage to find a heart lead, I don't like it, but that would have worked, or you switch, you're going to keep declare to 9 tricks, or you might even manage to get declare down by making 2 diamonds, 2 hearts and a spade. So let's try one more. This one's sent in by Angela. This one's a little bit strange because the bidding might have gone differently, but we'll see how it goes. So again, you're West. It goes 1 heart, double, 3 hearts. Okay. It then went pass, pass, and you chose to pass, which I think is probably reasonable. I mean, you've doubled already. I'm not sure with a relatively flat hand that you should be doubling a second time here. So it goes 1 heart, double, 3 hearts. Your partner passes, South passes, and you pass. Does that make sense? So we're in 3 hearts, undoubled, and it's your lead. North-South vulnerable, I should say, on this one. And you choose the ace of clubs lead, which I hope is normal. When I'm dealt an ace and king, I tend to lead it. There's dummy. Okay, I think 3 hearts is a reasonably good judgment call. I think some of you might bid 4 hearts there, but you are vulnerable. So 4 hearts might be, remember, over a double. This is 1 heart double. It's an interesting choice of bids, really, isn't it? What do you bid? But the important thing is not just to bid 2 hearts. So the ace of clubs lead. What's your plan as West, do you think? Well, I think I'm going to probably watch partner's signal. That's important. Whenever I lead the ace of clubs, I tend to look at partner's signal carefully. And when I lead the first lead, the first signal should be attitude. So partner will tell me whether to continue clubs. Notice though, if I'm able to play the king of clubs next, my partner will have a free chance to signal then. Now that is going to be really important here. Does that make sense? So the ace of clubs, okay, partner should say, oh, great lead, partner, lead them again. But if I get the chance to lead the king, then my partner can give me a signal. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go over to partner's hand. Okay. So here's your partner's hand. Now clearly you can see spades are great, okay? But from the West hand, just going back again, from the West's point of view, you do not want to lead a spade unless your partner gives you permission. So because you do not want to be giving a trick away. Leading a spade from the West hand looks like you're likely to give South's king a trick. So you would only want to lead a spade if partner said lead a spade. So let's go over to partner's hand. So on the first club trick, I would give an attitude signal. Partner, I love your lead. Playing normal attitude, okay, I would play the 8, a high club, to say, carry on please, partner. Okay, if you play reverse, you do the opposite. That's up to you. So playing normal attitude, partner, lead another club. On this next club play, I have a free chance to play any club I want to. So I can do what's called a suit preference signal. We don't generally talk about hearts here because that's the trump suit. I could play my lowest club to suggest partner lead the lower ranking suit, diamonds. Or I could play a high club to say lead the higher ranking suit. Now, do you want a spade lead as East? Do you want a spade lead? And you might think, no way, I don't want a spade lead because I'll lose to South's ace queen. But you've got to assume that South is competent. If South has the ace and queen of spades, surely South is going to take a spade finesse himself. In which case, the only time, well, a spade switch never costs your partner. Because if he has no spades at all, well, declarer is always going to make the ace queen. But if your partner's got the ace or the queen, then a spade finesse, a spade lead is fantastic. Does that make sense? So I'm going to tell my partner to lead a spade. It's not always easy to know when to ask partner to lead something. For instance, if you had a bear king here, you probably wouldn't signal for it because it doesn't feel right. But with king jack 10, it's got to be right. Because remember, even when it's wrong, it's okay. Now that seems a bit odd, but the point is, if declarer's got the ace queen of spades, he can take the finesse himself. Surely that's what he's going to do. The natural play for declarer in spades will be a spade to his queen and then the ace. So we're not losing anything by partner switching to spades. So here I'm going to play the highest club I can afford. Here the queen of clubs tends to be a sort of what's called a foghorn. For me, the 10 of clubs is what I'd play here. That's a clear suit preference signal. Partner, please lead the highest club. Okay, sorry, the highest suit, highest ranking suit outside. And of course, if your partner does switch to spades, he'd lead the ace. We would then take 2 spade tricks. There is the full hand for you. Okay, so there is the full hand for you. Now, we're going to look at the bidding in a moment because that's quite interesting, but they finished in 3 hearts at their table. And keeping it to 140 was a good score. Because, of course, I've been telling you to be passive. And without a clear signal from your partner, I wouldn't expect West to switch to spades. And, of course, declarer, because the diamonds break 3-3, ends up running the rest of the tricks. So after the ace and king of clubs, if you don't play spades, declarer has 5 diamond tricks. Well, I think he still has to lose 1 spade, but he can throw the rest of his spades away on those diamonds. So he only loses 1 spade instead of 2. And of course, playing pairs, that is so valuable. 3 hearts plus 1 was above average for North-South. 3 hearts just making was okay for East-West. Now, just going to the table here, how should the auction go? So I'm going to go to Q Plus again, because I think it's a bit tricky. So it was actually, so South chose to open. I'm not so sure that's an opening bid vulnerable against not, but you have got ace king to 5. But when it goes 1 heart, let's say 2 clubs, if it did from your partner, you're having to rebid 2 hearts. I'll let you have it. The quality of the suit is perhaps good enough, but I'm not massively convinced by that as a great opening bid vulnerable against not. Anyway, it went 1 heart double. I think 3 hearts is a good bid from North at this vulnerability. I think 4 hearts is an overbid. Notice that I wouldn't be surprised if 4 hearts makes quite a few tables there. So it's an interesting hand. What does East bid here? Does East need to bid something? Tricky, isn't it? Amazingly, 3 spades is where you want to bid. 3 spades is ends up being one off for a good score, but I'm not sure how easy it is to bid it. You know, because you haven't got a spade fit. But it turns out you've got lovely black suits. Both sides have a double fit, but it's a really interesting one. So 3 spades going one off is a great score for East West, isn't it? But it really is tricky to bid it, I have to say. I think the 4 clubs might work, but of course if you get doubled in 4 clubs, you would be 2 off. Okay? So I agree with Brian. I don't think East can bid 3 spades here, but can East double? What does double mean, do you think? I mean, it maybe it's worthwhile doubling here to say, partner, I think we should be doing something. I quite like that. Problem is you might get 4 diamonds, but maybe, you know, I don't know. But it's tricky. I think it's tricky. And what does West bid now? I don't think you're going to be doubled in 4 clubs. But I agree, Brian, I think it should show both minors. So, you know, and it could go horribly wrong. If you do end up bidding 4 clubs, I think that would finish the auction here. And actually 4 clubs -2. This is what's crazy, isn't it, playing pairs bridge? 4 clubs -2 is a good score. I mean, it should be trivial to take that one. 2 off ace, king of hearts, and then king of diamonds, and obviously 2 more diamonds. So you make the first 5 tricks, but non-vulnerable against vulnerable. Giving away 100 points, a great score. I can't see you getting double, but I'm not sure that's realistic. Could East just bid 4 clubs here? Maybe there's some. But I think I wouldn't, you know, passing 3 hearts out looks reasonable as well. So it's a collection of things. Let's just to finish off then. There's, you can see the full hand. But you do need to take the first 4 tricks to stop declare making more than 9 tricks. And as I say, I think that's going to be really valuable to you. Okay, because I think 140 will be okay here. I'm not sure many East-Wests are going to manage to get to 4 clubs undoubled or 3 spades. So notice also, that I think some tables might make 4 hearts. Nobody did on the particular travel I was shown, I will admit. But there you go. Okay, let's sum up what we've talked about as we're coming to the end of the month. Generally, I want defenders to play safe. I know it sounds boring, but it's amazing how good a scores you can get by playing safe. Passive defense will get you good results, and the better you become at it, the better your scores, because as we've always said, or I always say, you defend twice as much as you yourself declare. As a partnership, should be even Stevens, but you defend twice as much, and that is important to remember. All right, so that's exciting. What else is exciting? Well, I thought I'd put you in the way of the Mr. Bridge Diary. Some people have been asking me about that. So that is the Bridge Player's Diary that is still available, and you can get that from Mr. Bridge. So do that if you fancy that. That includes my summary of ACL with the odd tip here or there. And so that's from mrbridge.co.uk, and yes, Mr. Bridge is hopefully coming, as you know, retiring, etc. And but he's doing very, very well. He's very fit and happy, as it were. But if you do fancy those, some of you will be getting gifts of those if you come on our festive events, etc. We do like to give you all a nice gift of those. So, what else have we got? I have that. Let's just quickly go back here. I've got to stop showing you everything though, don't I? So bear with me. There you go. Let's just go back to where we were here. And this time I'm going to make only me a computer. Okay. So, no, that's no good. Yep, there we go. Okay, How much is a diary? That's a good question. They are, Helen will probably come up with an answer to that. I think they are £11.95. They are lovely diaries. But they start in, they're not 365. Oh, how much is it? They start, I think, in August and go on until the next year, the end of next year. There is a very special offer for clubs. So if you order 10 or more, you get them at £5.95. But otherwise they're £11.95. They're in a sort of luxury leather, sort of mock leather cadral. Very nice. Okay, so as we saw, it was a 1 no trump, and we led the 10 of hearts. This time I'm going to let dummy play the queen. So let's have a think about what's going on here. 1 club from east, 1 no trump overcall. So generally for the 1 no trump overcall, we're expecting a very minimum of 15 to 18. So, and we have 10 points between us. So we could, the minimum south could be as 15, so the maximum east can be as 15. So I'm placing my partner with 11 to 15. However, again, it's going to be really important, this kind of hand, judging how many clubs your partner's got. As soon as you think your partner is balanced, okay, as soon as you think your partner is balanced, suddenly you will know that east and south have 15 points each. So that's subtle, isn't it? But your partner's opened 1 club here. So if he has 6 clubs, clearly he could be any strength. If he's got 5 clubs and another 4 card suit, he could be any strength, 11 to 15. But if he ends up being 5 clubs, 3, 3, 2, or just 4 clubs, we're then placing him with 15 points, as we've discussed before. This is in the counting. On the Fridays when we were doing counting, we were analysing this idea of balanced hands. If someone's got a balanced hand, then they need to fit in their balanced hand range. So if East has got a balanced hand here, the only number of points he can have that fits that is 15, because remember, with 12 to 14 he would have opened 1 no trump. Does that make sense? Okay. Also notice first lead. That's true. Could be 4-4-4-1 if he has a singleton diamond. So you'd have to have a singleton diamond here, and we'll see that quite early. Notice the first trick here. Queen of Hearts wins the first trick. So you know that Declarer's got the ace and king here. Okay. Why didn't we lead a club? With a singleton and a nice solid suit of your own, knowing that South is overcalled in clubs, sorry, South is overcalled in 1 no trump, therefore showing a club stopper, I think it's reasonable not to. And now dummy's shown clubs. What's going to be interesting is, again, if partner's got 5 clubs, so if partner's got length in clubs, it'll be interesting to see what South's stopper could be. So there's a number of things that are in my mind as a defender here. Let's just carry on the defence for a little longer. Okay, 8 of spades is led. We will duck that. No, we're not ducking it, we're just playing. I tend to play high-low, tend to give count there. And then 7 of diamonds lead, which is interesting. We just play low. And partner's won the jack. That is interesting. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, so partner's not switched back to hearts. He's just playing aside to clubs, so that's good news. There's not much happening here, but I'm suspecting that partner hasn't got 6 clubs. The way the diamonds have been played, I've got to assume partner has the ace of diamonds. So I'm getting a picture of partner being relatively balanced here. So let's just open up the hands and just make sure we're familiar with the picture, but there you go. And I'm not sure that surprises me too much, that partner was indeed balanced. I think if he had 6 clubs, he might have switched to Clara's playing on diamonds. I think probably partner might have been able to be 5-4 in clubs and diamonds. But as you can see, we found the right defence. We've done it rather neatly. And there's not much de Clara can do from here. Okay. In fact, he's just giving us our tricks. And I'm not sure what he's hoping to achieve by that, but you can see that accurate defence there is going to take de Clara a long way off. Oh, wow. Looks like de Clara is going to go 3 off. There you go. Okay, I won't play the rest out there. You can see we got 4 winners there. King, Queen of Clubs, King of Diamonds, and the Ace of Spades. No, he's gone 2 off. So whether we can actually, what we identified was partner had 11 to 15 points, and getting into this habit is really important. The other habit to understand is to try to identify whether players are balanced or not, because if you know they are balanced, particularly the opening bidder, you're able to place him in pockets. Here with a spade led originally, partner's general play in hearts, it's not unreasonable to think that partner's balanced. I would have placed East with 2 spades, 3 hearts, and that's enough almost, isn't it? Does that make sense? If you've placed East with 2 spades and 3 hearts, I think he's almost definitely going to be. Why 3 hearts? Because of course if you'd only had 2 hearts, South would have had 5, and surely South's more likely to overcall 1 heart than bid 1 no trump. So I think quite early on here you might be able to work out that the precise holdings are 15-15. Okay, don't think it's going to make a lot of difference to your play here. As long as you lead a heart, I think you're going to get the same result. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's always interesting looking at hands sent in. It's obviously less precise a lesson, and I know some of you prefer the lessons to be more precise, but having examples from your hands at least puts it in a bit more perspective. Someone asking 1 no trump overcall shows 15 to 18. What do you do with 19 or more? Generally you double first and plan to rebid no trumps. We've got a bidding quiz to come, so let me just show you that. There we go. So that's a bidding quiz I'm going to leave you with. A diamond from South, double from you. Okay, so you've got a lovely hand. So it goes a diamond from South, double from you. You don't have to double first, but you have done, I'm afraid. Pass from North, 1 spade from your partner, pass. Okay, so a diamond, double from you, pass 1 spade. Pass in your rebid, please. So you can get the answer, of course, on the website. Please do. So you double first, and you probably, hopefully, have planned your rebid. The prize winner was Mark Stevenson, so well done to him. Good luck on the quiz. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, we are sacrificing from now on. We are sacrificing. If you fancy the teams, we're on tomorrow. And if you fancy staying on for the beginners, that is where we are going now. So thanks for your company and have a nice week. So welcome to our little beginners section. We are talking about rebidding a suit when you are strong. And particularly the number of cards you might have in that suit. So what is called a jump rebid in your suit. So what does that mean? You've opened, your partner responds, and rather than bidding at the lowest level, you decide to jump a level. So 1 heart, 1 spade, jump to 3 hearts. Okay, so 1 heart, then 3 hearts would show a strong hand, but it also shows extra strength. Okay, so jumping shows strength and length. 16 or more points and 6 or more cards, and that's really important. There's going to be a reason for that. And the reason is generally you're going to have a way of bidding your hand in a different way if you've only got 5 hearts. Particularly one of those will be rebidding no trumps, and we're going to see that. So 1 heart, then jumping to 3 hearts, says I'm strong and I am extra long. Okay, so let's put that in an example. Here you go. I've given you 16 high card points there with a 6 card suit, so that looks pretty suitable to me. So my plan, and this is important, I generally plan at the start. I plan to open a heart, and I'm planning to jump to 3 hearts. So 1 heart from me. Let's say your partner bids a spade. You jump to 3 hearts. Partner, I've got a really strong hand here, and 6 hearts. Does that help you decide on what the final contract is? Well, let's see what your partner has. Well, your partner's got 10 points there. So adding his 10 points to your 16, he knows he should go for game. And he's got 2 hearts along with your promised 6. So that means you've got a fit in hearts. So if you know you've got a lovely fit in hearts and you know you've got the strength for the game, you can bid 4 hearts. Okay? And that's a lovely contract here. As you can see, you're a bit open in clubs. So if you didn't have hearts as trumps, your opponents might be able to take lots of club tricks. As it is, they can only take 2 before we're allowed to ruff that 3rd round of clubs. Okay, so bidding to 4 hearts is very nice indeed. So what about if you've only got 12 points like this one? Well, I'm going to open 1 heart and just simply rebid 2 hearts. Okay, so I've got the length, but I don't have the strength. And what that means is now partner said, well, I've only got 10 points. I think 2 hearts is probably high enough, partner. He doesn't know we've got 6. A rebid of 2 hearts is only really showing 5. So he's not so sure of a fit, but he's happy enough in 2 hearts. Thank you very much. What about if you haven't got 6 but you have got the points? Well, here you've got 17 points. Once again you open 1 heart, but having shown you hearts, your hand is relatively balanced, isn't it? You've just got 1 doubleton and 1 long suit. So what that means is you can plan to rebid no trumps if you want to. So here you start with 1 heart, your partner bids a spade, and you can rebid 1 no trump, showing 15 to 17 points. Once again, your partner's got that 10-point hand. Because you haven't rebid hearts, your partner doesn't expect to play in hearts, he will go for 3 no trumps. Partner, you've got a balanced hand, I've got a balanced hand, let's play in 3 no trumps. Okay, so we're trying to show our shape and our strength. Okay, and that's really important. The difficulty in bridge, in learning bridge and the language, is that of course each of these bids have a different meaning in each context. Okay, as we've seen so often. So the 1 no trump opening, the 1 no trump rebid, etc. Okay, so here what we've shown is a number of different ways of showing strong hands. Here we didn't have to jump. Because it's a 1 no trump rebid, we are showing a stronger hand than the 12 to 14 opening bid. Whereas as you saw with a strong hand with long hearts, you did have to jump to show that strength. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just a short and simple lesson, but getting your head around those opening bids and having them down to a T is important. You will find there is a little printout you can get on the site, which is a simple printout that you can, which is in 1 column, which can be useful. So if you're a beginner, I always recommend to start with that little printout that gives you the basics so that you know what to do and you can try and use it as you start. And a lot of times if you play live, your opponents won't mind you doing that. A club might say, yes, as a beginner, we want to encourage you to play, please do have it. You know, just to refer to if you need to, because we tend to be pretty nervous when we start playing live at the start. Obviously, at some point, you have to make that move from constantly referring to a crib sheet, as it were, but it makes a lot of difference to your confidence if you start off with it. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and see you again soon. Thank you.